Hi, this is Melissa Stubenberg with the fourth vlog for Hoku for the U.S. Event Horse Maturity. Where we last left off in vlog 3, I had taken Hoku out to her first event. We did a little more training and brought her back out for her next event at Beginner Novice. I'm not sure when Beginner Novice got so large, but it looked big to me. But Hoku was a star, and I was very pleased with her, even with the not best distance I gave her here. After this event, Sally took over the reins and we got Hoku qualified. Then she had a few weeks off with me mostly hacking her. I was thrilled with Hoku at her qualifying event other than her not dying to the trailer. I'm going to turn this over to Sally Cousins now.
This is Sally Cousins. I was pretty happy to be asked to ride Hoku at this qualifier. I had only been riding her occasionally until we started preparing for this. And I would say I rode her twice a week in the last couple of weeks in preparation for this. This horse has an amazing brain. She shipped down there by herself. She stood in the trailer. She was very quiet and warm up. And she's a 4-year-old thoroughbred with, I would say, less show experience than some of the other horses that were there that day. She could not have been any better. I also think that what was unusual about her was that she actually performed as well, if not a little bit better than she does at home. And that's a fairly rare trait in a horse. So it's pretty exciting to be a part of her future. I also think that I've gotten a little bit better at how to present the horses in these qualifiers. It's really about showing off their movement, it's showing off their presence. And so I think that I have done the dressage section of this a little bit better, and I went to a lot of effort to try to show off her gaits. She carries herself naturally in a good balance, and so that makes the job for me and for any rider a good bit better. But it was pretty exciting to see how good she was in the ring. I'm going to say, and I could be a little bit wrong about this, but not off by much, that she's probably only been in a dressage ring maybe 7 or 8 times as far as competitions are concerned. I know Melissa did some dressage schooling shows with her over the winter in Pennsylvania, but she has limited outings in that way. So it was pretty amazing that she was so good. I thought that the judging here was pretty fair. I liked that the judge did not seem to have much of a prejudice against thoroughbreds. I've run into a little bit about that, and I thought that this judge was a pretty good horseman about it. I know her canter transitions were not perfectly smooth, but again, they're trying to show off the movement. It still is a little bit of a shock to me that when we do this last walk work, that literally you just walk out of the ring. I can't make myself do it, so I always make a bit of a circle. She could have stretched down perhaps here a little bit more in the walk, but there's always that little bit of balance between showing off the walk and really disrupting the rhythm of it. But again, I mean, she couldn't have been any better about this. We did make a big point, and you're allowed to do this, to take them out onto the course and let them get a little bit familiar with the jumps and the environment. And just like going to an FEI event where you can do the ring familiarization, if it's allowed, I don't see why not. And I think that that's a big deal. And we did take the time to take her out. And most of the other horses were there, and they really encouraged taking the horses through the water. And so I think that everyone in this class had done that sort of same preparation. I was a little bit surprised at the height of some of the jumps. This is a 4-year-old, so I know that the 4-year-old class, so I know that we're looking at maybe novice moving into training. I had been at a qualifier at Maryland in April, and I was shocked by how small the jumps were. I didn't think that these were beyond novice, but I was just a little bit surprised that it was quite up to height, having had the experience just a few months prior where it was small enough that the horse I was showing actually did not present himself very well because he wasn't making much of an effort. But Hoku really did an amazing job here. I would say these cross-country jumps were of the larger that she's ever done, and it gave her an opportunity to show off her jump, show off her ability. She made some very good efforts, and I think that she went fairly steady. She was really attentive. For the most part, I was able to indicate the leads in the air. She kept a very good rhythm. She handled the terrain well, which is not a shock since we live in an area where there's a lot of hills. But she was fairly green for what we asked her to do. And I think it's a rare horse that ends up performing beyond its level of training. Now, you can't just then assume that that's going to happen forever. We did make sure that we went back and had some easy jump schools when she came back into work, having had a couple of weeks of just hacking. It was a big effort for her. This qualifier is about 2.5 hours for her shipping each way. Now, having just been on the West Coast, I realized that talking about shipping on the East Coast they're not impressed in any way. They would ship that far for a lesson. But I do think that with the heat and the other factors, this was a little bit of a stressful day for her. She's really good over the ditch there. She did the bending line combination well, and then she comes around and jumps up this bank pretty well. This is a really awkward bank to get to, and this was the jump that I didn't have the best score on, and I thought she really made a pretty good effort there. It really drops down, and it's hard for the horses to read it well. I think she galloped up this hill well. This may have been the fastest she's ever gone. And so I couldn't have been more happy with her, and I'm very excited to be riding her at Fair Hill in another month or two.